Welcome to Academy of Tone 212. Yeah, I'm back from Hamburg. I had a nice weekend in Hamburg at the Crossroads Festival, the 8th Crossroads Festival at number one Guitar Center, Hamburg. And you could see some parts of that Saturday night concert jam. I mean, it was a jam. There was no way for rehearsals or nothing. So at the intro we saw Marcus Deml, and then the second snippet was a very, very young fellow named Rudi, and he's only 14. Yeah, and Rudi was a surprise guest. I didn't know anything about this young fellow before, and the owner of number one came and said, yeah, there's a young guy that can play some guitar. I had no clue. He said, oh, can we play I'm Going Down? And actually I told the words, and I don't know them even, to our Rudi Gulli Spiller, the bass player and singer. So yeah, this was a very spontaneous thing. As you could see, I was using the MX. So all the live performances I'm doing this year, I'm using MX. And that's my beta test scenario. Actually, I was very happy to have met another guy, which is probably only on my cell phone. Is he here? Let me see. No, it's on the other one. Doesn't matter. It's these events are great because I always bump in all kinds of people. I was meeting Andreas Kloppmann, who is a software programmer that I worked with for, I think, 5 years together on two projects. One was the Kettner Zentera, the modeling amp, and the other project was Cubase. I think it was Cubase 6 or many, many moons ago. And he is from Hamburg. And it's great to meet these people and kind of talk and think about projects like MX. And he was watching my clinic, and he could tell what's going on, and yeah, he really enjoyed it, and he liked what he could hear. So that's a good sign. Okay, before we dive into more details here, there's a few things I want to get out of the way. I was checking for birthdays, and I was shocked because June is the month of famous guitar players. The 1st of June was Ron Wood by the Rolling Stones lately, Kerry King on the 3rd of June, Steve Vai on the 6th of June, Prince on the 7th of June, Derek Trucks on the 8th of June, Les Paul, the master of this guitar, on the 9th of June, Kenny Wayne Shepherd on the 12th of June, Howard Leese, Lisi, I don't know, actually. Brad Gillis, 15th of June. Chet Atkins, 20th of June. Jeff Beck is coming up on the 24th of June. Mick Jones from The Clash, 26th. And Yngwie Malmsteen on the 30th of June. What a month. Every famous guitar player, a lot of those are born in June. Yeah. Talking about Les Paul would be a good thing one day. That's just something coming up my mind now. Okay, and before I forget, I won't forget the song of mine, by the way. On this Saturday, which is, I think, the 30th, or what today? No, 15th maybe. When is it? The 15th of June. We have session music coming up. I'm doing a clinic there. 2 p.m., like 2 Uhr für the Germans, Waldorf. I'm doing my 10 years of BluGuitar history clinic, and of course I'm open for questions. I guess it's kind of an open-end thing. They gave me their main stage, and it's in a separate room. So yeah, we can spend a whole afternoon if you like. So at least 2 hours from 2 to 4. Yeah, officially it's an hour, but you know me. Whenever you have questions, I'm happy to do that in German, in Walldorf, this Saturday, the 15th of June. Okay, and then the other last announcement I want to do is we have those summer special bundles on the web shop now. You know, it's like Valeska, remember her from last episode? She's always into special, you know, she's into sales, and she gave me these 2 pictures. You know, there are special bundles available for the summer, like this month, June, and combination of M1 Mercury and M1 Iridium with cabinets, blue box, and blah blah blah. Check out on our website. So there's so many great things that happened here. By the way, just behind me, you see this Marshall here. It's back home because this was sitting in Hamburg for, oh wait a minute, there's a lot of shit in the, yeah. And there's my Akkuschrauber. This is a 1968 Plexi. It's a killer amp. Let me show you the back of it. Is it okay? Can we see it? Yeah. So this one is EL34 loaded. It has a real mallet tube in the first. No, one of my finest amps in my collection. I borrowed this to Peter Weihe for a while, and now it's back home, and it sounds killer. That's the amp. Let me show you. Okay, come on. So. Let's compare it to my other 50 watt, which is this one. That one is a bit sweeter. So EL34, and finally M1. I love those 50-watt plexis. Can't get enough of them. Anyway, so back in the house, and now I'm waiting for the Friedman Plex, because that's the amp, exactly this one. It would, to compete or to compare. So I'm ready. Whenever I get it, I'll make that nerdy episode on Marshalls again. Yeah, great amps. Okay, back to the Crossroads Festival. There's tons of people that I met, and there's tons of great stories I want to show you. Yeah, maybe we start with on the setup day. I have I met Peter Bachmeier. Bachmeier has a very interesting guitar design with movable pickups and things. We have a very short video, just simply watch it and you get an idea of the distance of the pickups, what it actually does. And his circuitry allows to have serial and parallel connections, so I can do like real humbuckers when I move the two coils close to each other, or I can do Strat sounds or tele sounds or anything in between. So this is what happened when I arrived, just set up the booth and met Peter Bachmeier and his guitar. Check it out. This is Thomas Walbier, Mr. Thomas Walbier, the man from #1 Guitar Center Hamburg. On the red carpets. This was his first job for tonight. And we are here in the exhibition hall. Some nice Greg's guitars, Nick Huber and Peter Bachmeier. And he has a very interesting instrument. Let me show you. Very special hardware, pickups that can be moved in position with a slider. So, what kind of wood do we use in this guitar here?
Spalted elm wood. Spalted elm wood.
Okay. And
mahogany.
Mahogany,
And
neck.
This is walnut.
Yeah. Is this like a one-piece neck?
It's a one-piece neck.
One-piece neck. Cool. Okay, let's have a quick listen. So this is the neck position. Rich. Like Stratocaster. And this one is the humbucker mode in series. Okay, I kind of like that concept of the moving pickups. Also, I find quite interesting the hardware where you can set up the position of the individual. Somebody's making noise, and adjusting the height from like behind. Yeah. check out the guitars by Peter Bachmeier. Yeah, so this was the setup day where there was a sound check with another guy playing guitar, and you could see there's somebody was still busy with the red carpet. And at the beginning we saw Thomas Wallbier, who is kind of the owner of Number One Guitar Center Hamburg. But people that I met and interesting things, there were a lot more. At our booth we had a guy coming with a 1953 Les Paul converted into a 57 gold top, which is of course what I like. And I have to admit, that guitar was probably even better than mine. Good news is Andreas Kloppmann was there, and he saw my reaction, and he saw what I liked, and he said, oh, maybe we have to do another pickup job for you for my guitar here. That's a good motivation. Anyway, there's a clip where I play the guitar, and then there's a clip where Andreas is asked about the guitar. Maybe watch the playing first. So listen to that killer 53 with original PAF pickups converted. A very good guitar. Okay, this is the converted guitar. Sounds killer. Let's hear it. Yeah, this was a killer guitar. And by the way, the guy that just was looking over my shoulder was TV Jones, the famous guy that is not only a pickup maker and a guitar luthier, he is also the guitar tech for Brian Setzer. He came over from the States for this event. Yeah, you could see me turning all the tone controls and the volume on the Les Paul. That's the sound. Yeah. I have a question in the chat here. Did I use the usual fat cap for these tests? Yeah, I think I had a fat cap at the booth, also for the gig. And this was not my personal fat cap, which is kind of heavily used and worn in and a bit smoother. No, this was a brand new one. I just brought this to the event, and this is now worn in by myself with a gig. You can buy it at the shop now. Yeah, so but when you hear that kind of Les Paul tone, that's what I love in Les Pauls. Anyway, there's a second clip that shows a bit more about the guitar and the owner, and Andreas is being asked a bit cold, so to speak. But check it out.
That's a 1953.
Yeah, converted.
That belongs to my friend Jules.
Hello.
He doesn't want to sell it.
That's bad. This man is evil.
He has a very beautiful set of PAFs.
Yeah.
Which we don't know yet what year these are, right?
Let's find out.
Let's find out. So,
Mr. Kloppmann
Mr. Andreas Kloppmann to the stage. Andreas Kloppmann, kannst du hier kommen, bitte?
What year is this PAF?
You have 3 seconds to tell us. No, but the pickup, 52 conversion. The pickups, what year are these? Just from looking at them from the outside, can you tell?
If these are real.
No, what year?
57.
Those are 57.
Yes, so.
Well, there you have it.
Okay. Yeah, Andreas was a bit skeptical at the beginning, but afterwards he remembered those pickups, and of course they are not 53, because in 53 there were no humbuckers. That's all clear. And then the early humbuckers is also hard to date if they are 57s, and he was looking into details of how flat the cover is, and about little things and the screws, and and maybe they are punched, but for me it would never matter, because that guitar just sounds killer, and that's all what I'm in for. The rest is just about how expensive things become when anyway. I see Schärfentiefes is in the chat. That bridge is very low. Yeah, that is because of the neck angle of the 52 and 53s. They have it's totally different. And that guitar, this particular, was actually not that bad. Maybe they have done the neck reset job as well, because usually they can't really be played like a normal Les Paul. The early ones they are weird to play, but this guitar, somebody has done a good job on this. I don't know the history of it. It just ended up in my hands, which was great. Yeah, and at the booth, my next neighbor was TV Jones, Thomas Vincent Jones, and very interesting guy. I met him many times before, but we never even had the time to speak in detail. And I had spent some time with him and actually did a long interview that we will show at the other YouTube channel one day, The World of Vintage Guitars, which is number one's YouTube channel. Interesting conversations. First, he's a great player too. Never underestimate your neighbor. And all these guys in the industry, most of them, they started as players and they know what they want. And with all his stories about Brian Setzer and how he came up with the Filtertron and his own pickups, because it's kind of a custom made pickup for Brian Setzer. And then he's going back all the way for special things. Very interesting, very interesting. You will find out this in the long interview. We have a little snippet here where I just walk by his booth next to ours, and just watch that clip. Hello.
Hello.
Hey, Mr. TV Jones.
Good morning.
Good morning. Fret job?
Yeah, I'm finishing up. He did most of it. I'm just finishing it.
It's a huge guitar with a lot of deep.
Nice. So what kind of sandpaper is this? Like 1000s?
No, this is 800. So,
800, yeah.
So I'm doing the 800, and then all the tape will come off, and then I'll seal wool it, otherwise known as wildebeesting.
Cool.
Wildebeest fur.
Yeah.
Serious coffee in the morning.
That was from last night.
Yeah. So what is your ideal pickup height then?
I love the tone when the neck pickup is slightly away on the bass side.
Yeah, so it's too boomy when the magnets are coming too close to the strings.
More string energy here.
Yeah.
And then I like to crank the bass side up on the bridge so they're opposite tip.
Okay.
And this brings out a good growl.
Okay.
And this is tipped away a bit because it can be a little bright.
Yeah.
This is tipped up a bit.
Mm-hmm. To give a bit more clarity. Yeah,
It's balanced.
more balanced.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very cool.
With the larger magnets, it's really important to take care of that. They're 1/4 inch thick rather than 1/8 inch like Gibson.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks for the lick of the day.
The lick of the day. Thank you.
Cool.
That was a bar chord,
Yeah,
and then I just hammered here.
yeah.
It's a pentatonic above it.
Sweet.
Yeah, that was a very nice lick here. Very simple. You play a bar chord, and then you just do the pentatonic on the what is it? The 9th fret. Anyway, TV Jones. Yeah, there will be a long interview on the other channel one day. And he actually got so excited about the Amp-1, playing it, and he bought one for myself. So if you are in his neighborhood in the US, I think he has 2 shops. I have to watch that interview again. I think one is in California, maybe LA, and the other one somewhere else. So there's an Amp-1 Mercury edition now. It's totally his thing. He really was so excited, and he had to buy it straight away. Okay, talking about interesting personalities, there was another guy that I also kind of knew for a long time, but never had the chance to get to know in depth. And this guy is Boris Dommenget. Boris is a guitar luthier. He is a pickup maker as well. He has built all those crazy guitars for Uli John Roth, and he has built guitars for the Scorpions. He is one of a kind. That interview is intense, I tell you. It's long and it's intense. He had so many stories, and especially about Bill Lawrence. He brought his own personal guitar that he was playing back in the 80s when he migrated to the UK. He is also a guy that tried it in the business as a musician, and then finally went back for being a guitar luthier that he was originally trained. And so he's a player, and he is a guitar luthier and pickup maker. And he also told me his stories about Amp-1, because Uli recommended the Amp-1 to Boris, and he's also like a Marshall guy, and he said, his Marshall died on stage, so the Amp-1 was his backup amp, and it's like impressive. But you will hear this in the interview one day. Okay. And of course, there were tons of other interesting people, but I could go on forever. Let's talk a little bit about the music that happened. My colleagues from the Rock Anarchy came on Saturday. Yeah, so I was going there first on Friday with yeah, actually with a nice combination of the Flixbus and then meeting, where is it? Meeting Jürgen Kirschner, who is a distributor of pedals. So this was me in the early morning for the Flixbus. Okay, the mobile phone looks a bit shitty. Anyway, my first experience with that, and it actually works. It was so fucking cheap. It was like I booked the first raw panorama seat just behind the driver, and I thought, you know what? It was €9. I just booked the seat next to me as well, so it was like 18.99 for 2 seats having the panorama. That was the most expensive deal, unless I would book all seats for myself. But so cheap, and yeah, some Polish bus driver, nice guy. It worked, nice. And then I, on half of the way, I jumped into Jürgen Kirschner's car, and we did all the rest. So we had a very 5 hours drive, intense talk of what's going on in the guitar world and the business, and yeah, and trade shows. He was telling me about that he has been to some Italian trade shows and French stuff. So yeah, let's see. Yeah, it's always good to have friends, then it's not so boring. That was my Friday, and Saturday my colleagues from the Rock Anarchy came in. There's a little clip, and then you see more people that were involved in the weekend. Watch it. This is Rock Anarchy on the way to the bar. Was machen die da an der Bar? So, and of course the one and only Marco Wriedt. So, this is.
Schön, dich wiederzusehen. Sehr schön. Voll großartig.
So, and this is the fridge, of course, it's a Marshall fridge.
Coke. Oh, geil.
Guck mal, geil.
Haben wir Cola.
Das ist eine richtige? Eine richtige?
Ja. Haben wir noch einen Öffner?
Der Kuli ist der Öffner. Ja. Also was, ich trinke auch Cola Zero. Doch, ich trinke immer nur ungesundes Zeug.
Hast du noch Karazza oder Beefy Roll?
So, das war's. Den Rest diskutieren wir. The rest we will discuss.
Vielleicht doch in der Kohleschuss drin geschehen.
Okay, I'm the barista guy that makes the coffees for the team. I know where the Marshall fridge is. They do actually good fridges, and they used to have a big Ampeg fridge as well. You know, the 8x10 cabinet. That's serious. So yeah, and then you could see a guy there that was sitting there. This is Marco Wriedt. Yeah, Marco also joined the concert, and we had a lot of fun playing some Deep Purple and doing Highway Star in the Harmony version. Yeah, and he was there to do a presentation of the Supreme Soaker by Adam Hall. Yeah, Marco is an Engel artist, but when he joined the band, I just had a nano cab and an M1 Mercury for him and that young Rudi. So for the jam, and that worked perfectly. Yeah, Marco is also the guitar player in Pink Cream 69, who is a nice German hard rock band with a singer named David Reedman, and we all know that David is also the singer in My Blue Plays Hendrix. Yeah. So, you know, everything is kind of it's one little club the German singing club or guitar club. Before we went on stage, there was a band that was there as a whatever finalists. I don't even know. In Hamburg, there was some other event going on, and in that band was, like our support before we went on stage. In Case of Blues was the name of the band, with a great female singer. I think it was 2 guitar players, and so they did their concerts. A lot of nice vibes in that room where we played live. And as I say, every gig I do these days, I play the Amp X. There is a little snippet where I play my Bach kind of thing, and you can hear the Amp X with that built-in replex, which is, killer. I love replex as it is, and I also love it in the Amp X. Check that out. Anyway, I love that replex. Again and again and again. I was on the mission for my ultimate spare Strat. Maybe you remember from last episode that I checked out a couple of different of my BluGuitars to find out which one I like the best. Let me put this. And before we go there, let's see. This is the cleaned, not all the way cleaned, but for me, just enough cleaned 61 Strat. And it's like so it's nice, it does the job. And I thought, while being at #1 Guitar Center Hamburg, why not ask the professional guy who does all the refrets and guitar setup jobs to put on new strings on that guitar. So I gave that guitar to Marcus, and he put on the strings. Watch that video. Hello, so this is a professional string change and setup job done by Marcus from #1 Music Center Hamburg. So these are the strings that I usually play. We all know the Ernie ball. This is the hybrid Slinky set 9 to 46, kind of a 9 at the top and a 10 on the bottom. And I use the reinforced plain strings because I used to break too many of the strings.
Okay.
How would you approach this task, changing strings?
First, I try to I check if the neck relief is okay. If the old strings on, you can check if the neck is straight,
Yeah.
or if it's too loose, but it seems fairly okay. So I can lose the string. If the string height is okay, we can leave it.
I spent years in optimizing.
I think so.
So, okay.
So I'm losing every string at once.
Yeah. All the strings at once. I don't change. Only if I break a single string, I do that. What is the advantage? Some people think about changing one string and then leave all the other strings on the guitar.
Maybe for the string tension, the neck relief stays the same.
But I don't care.
Normally, we clean up the fretboard, so you have to put every string away.
Yeah.
So this one.
Yeah, don't hurt yourself with the ends. Yeah.
So good, no backplate.
Yeah. Yeah, I removed the backplate because it makes string changes easier.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
So strings are away. Now we can put on the new ones.
So talking about changing strings in this shop, #1 Guitar Center, Hamburg, I think you have to do this quite a lot with all the guitars in the shop.
We have to do it every day with various different guitars, acoustic guitars, electric guitars, third row systems, vintage systems. But one thing is always the same. You have to put on new ones, and then I always start with the thick strings.
Yeah. Low E string in this case.
E string.
Yeah.
And
How long?
You can measure from the first tuner to the third. As you go 2 tuners up, clip it here.
And that's long enough.
Yeah, and you insert it, in this case, in this vintage tuners,
in the
little hole.
Yeah, and then you
make
bend
a
it
twist,
over. Yeah,
and then you can wrap it.
Yeah. The twist makes a nice sharp edge, which gives a grip to the string.
It, to the bottom.
Yeah.
So it should be okay.
Cool.
This every day for 6 strings minimum.
Yeah. I'm showing you the string collection in this shop while he's doing the next one. See, okay, another. No, so look at this. Bass strings, jazz strings. Then we have a lot of the Darius, and here we have the Ernie Ball strings. The Dario Paradigm. Yeah, no, the new Ernie Ball Paradigm. And even more strings. And Hannabach, which are acoustic nylon strings, picks and stuff. Strings, 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 and more strings. Aha. 3 strings in place already. Now the G string. So how you deal with the plain strings, the G string still same technique?
I use the same technique, same lengths.
Okay.
Should go for 2 to 3 wraps under.
Personally, you have a preference? Are you a Dario guy or Ernie Ball guy?
I think the Ernie Balls on Strat or Taylor style guitars got a little more twang in the beginning, but in the Dario strings have a slightly better intonation.
Yeah,
but
I always feel that the Dario are probably a maybe even better quality in a way.
Yeah, it's a little bit stiffer.
Yeah,
And
But for me, the Ernie ball, I got so used to the sound.
yeah,
I can't change anymore. I found my sound in all my sounds with these strings, and now it's too late. It's if I put on different strings, my ears get irritated.
yeah. It's also if you play the feeling of the strings. I think Ernie ball a little bit softer
For the bending,
for bendings. So for the last string, because you have no more tuner buttons, you can go 1, 2, and there.
Yeah.
With same technique. So everything wrapped up. Now we have to tune it.
Yeah. Volume helps. Yeah, as the bar is moving with the raising tension, the tuning process will take a while.
Yes, of course. You have to also always stretch between tuning.
You can see is that it's slowly going up, and now if you go back for the low E string, and this is like stretching.
And tune again.
So
you can also
wiggle your arm a bit. Yeah, make sure everything is moving easily without not being stuck somewhere.
Yeah. You have to tune it a lot more.
Yeah, that's my floating tremolo system. I'm filming this so people can actually see how it moves up. Yeah.
Okay, I think string change is done.
Yeah.
Normally we check now intonation or string height, but I think your guitar is fairly okay.
Yeah.
But just a quick check, empty string, 12 string.
Is it bad? I think I have a little bit of stratitis going on, especially because my pickup is broken, and this brings the pickup too close to the... But hey, that's my Strat. It always was like that, and I have to live with it unless you find something to improve.
B string is slightly too wide.
Okay.
Can I change it?
Yeah, please.
Okay, it's better.
Cool.
Yes, we're finished.
Thanks for the job, man. Well done. Cheers. Yeah, here we go. These are the new strings on that guitar. Maybe I want to add one more thing. Marcus has done it correct in the way that he puts the end into this shaft and then only makes one edge and then starts winding. Sometimes I had an issue doing that myself. Maybe I was too stupid, or maybe I don't know. So what I have then done is stick it in there and make that sharp edge go around and then go across here. Let me show you. Do we have the camera? Here. That's the vintage machine heads on the Stratocaster. Okay, so they have a hole in the middle and they have this kind of cut like this way. So I do this only for like the high E string and sometimes the B string. Stick it in, bend it here, make one round and then go straight through that slot here and bend it again. That gives me more edges and it's kind of a, I can really stretch the strings and it's not sliding through. Because I had that once and that, you know, going on stage with a guitar that doesn't stay in tune is bad. The job that Marcus has done was brilliant. It works. It's just my paranoia that made me put on the strings like that. And it's not a big deal. In case you had that issue yourself, you can try to do it that way. Okay, now back to the Strat. From what I remember in the last episode, my 61 original, this one, has a very unique way of sounding evenly from the bridge to the neck pickup. So let's check it again. So I was switching between bridge and neck, and there was not that typical clinky, clinky, clang and sound. And this is like, that is the neck and that is the bridge. So they both have a kind of a similar low and high end. Of course, they can't be similar because they're on the two positions and they vary, but let me show you what I mean. I can so in my opinion, this pickup switching is not changing the overall high end too much. Check this one. Here, the neck pickup is warmer. And the bridge pickup has that. So bridge pickup is very open and in your face. And the neck is a little bit too warm and it's all the way up. So let me check if my theory that the volume, that the tone pot on the Strat is a too low value could be the case. Okay, full risk. I will try to do a quick fix. Maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. Okay, I'll have. So I just take off half of the scratch plate and see if it is possible to make a serious resistance with the pot and see if that changes that treble, if that's the cause. Maybe it is not, but we will find out in a minute. So, the moment of truth. Can I access the cables? Maybe I can, maybe I can't. Fuck. You know what? I give it a try. Try. Soldering iron. And here we go. This is not needed anymore. Clean up the place. By the way, while the soldering iron is heating up, at the end of this episode, I have a nice interview with Marcus Deml, who is also one of the 6 finalists of the Strat Kings back in 2004 when Fender was... The Stratocaster became 60, now it's 70. Just like exactly 10 years ago, we had 2 finalists from Germany, me and Marcus Deml. And Marcus, I've done a nice interview with him, which we will show at the end of this episode. And this is the finals with the 6 and the Bond girl who did the interviews. Where is it? No, this hand is moving. Okay, no, this way. Here's the Bond girl. I forgot her name. And Paul Rose, killer player, and Marcus and them all. Okay, let me see if I can tweak that thing. I've never done this before, so maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. But I'm curious. Okay. To do this properly, you should actually take the whole scratch plate off the guitar. I try a quick and dirty experiment. Maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. We'll find out. So this is... Okay, this is the one wire, and now I will insert a pot. The hardest thing is to get a wire in here for the pot. Maybe I can use this. Super. This is the leftovers from last week. It's like cooking. That doesn't work. So I have to change this because I need it. Unfortunately, I don't have any background music. Now we should have some easy listening. Giving us faith. The world is in good order or something like this. So, let's see if I get this connected. By the way, this is the slipstick. Overhead camera, bring. Slipstick lubricant from Trevor Wilkinson. Da-da-da-da. It's like a lipstick for dry lips, but it's for friction problems on your guitar. You can put this in your nut and it will do a nice job. Okay. Quick and dirty test. Let's see if I get it. Scheiß Licht. Wait a minute. Oh, actually that works, or could work. Okay. No risk, no fun. Okay. Now, let's see if we get results. Okay, this pot now is in series, and I will choose a position where I think it's musically where I like it to be. Or let's put it that way, if it's all the way closed, it is like not existing. This would be out of the signal path, so it's like a shortcut from this to the taper. But I can try to open it a little bit. See what happens. And just put it on the edge. And now compare to the bridge pickup. Of course, I will open that pot 100% now. I think it's more open. Let's check. I will close 100% now. Back. Definitely. Okay. Aha. So, simple things, it's only a value in the electronics, and that's probably the tolerance of the potentiometer. When you remember in the last episode when I measured all these CTS and the other pots, they were kind of all over the place. They all should have 250K, but some of them had 186. The next one had 286. Yeah, very bizarre. So, interesting phenomena. So let's see. Definitely, there's such a lot more high end. So what I will do is I have two choices. Rather, the simplest one is I will dial in a value that I like, measure the pot, and have this as a resistor. Just like replace that pot with a resistor, or I have another switch. I can go for a 500K switch, and then use a resistor to in parallel to reduce the value from 500 to, I guess, 300. That's what I believe that value of my original Strat could be. But my point is, it's like now it's more even. That was my point. I can match the pickups. I didn't change the pickup, I just matched the the ohmage of the potentiometer, and that moves the peak of that neck pickup to a different place and opens up the high end. And that's what I wanted for my neck position. Played on the neck pickup. And now, as it was before, see, that's not my sound. Okay, lesson. The values of the pots have a big influence on the tone, and you can fine-tune your guitar by adjusting these values. Option 1 is you select the pots to your liking, so you should know what sound you would like to hear. Option number 2 is you take whatever is in the guitar, unless it's not too little as value, because you can't go really higher unless you have a serious resistor, which I have just done on the tone pot. I would just encourage you to experiment a little bit with these parameters. And once these are adjusted, you can go back and adjust the pickups, you know? And that gives you another percentage here and there. And then, you know, anything changes. Like when I change the electronics, I can have a look what happens with the pickup height. Yeah, but you know, one thing of my original Strat is that there's a crack in the scratch plate, and that also is a kind of an artifact, so it brings the pickup too close to the string, but that's part of my sound as well. Shit happens, and this is how it is, but that's the thing about vintage guitars. They are not normal, and therefore things happen, and that also influences the sound. Okay, let me read the comments. Do we have any questions? Seele says the 500K is better because the series resistor would always be there if you close the original pot. Yeah, and that makes the tone function less effective. The question is, yeah, it is the way to do it. 500K, and then see if that's too open, and then have a parallel resistor. That's making the more authentic replica of my 61 push, which is also not original. Hey guys, this is like now we are on a level that is a personal level, I would say. I mean, if you get an original Fender Strat, they all vary, and one of the reasons is the wood is different, and now you can also see that the pots are different, and also this has an influence. And then of course the capacitors have an influence. Different capacitors also make sound. Everything has an influence. And even the wire. I mean, the original cloth wire of the mint condition Strats has a different sound from what I actually use in my 61 Strat, because, you know, when I was young, 17, I bought that guitar and I experimented with everything. And one thing I have done is I changed the wire to the output socket here to have that wire as a shielded. Some guy gave me some super expensive, the best shielded cable ever, silver, whatever it is. And I had just like that long of a cable, and I thought, okay, I put this in the most critical part of my whole system. Well, from here to there. That's what I've done in the original Strat. And guess what? It actually maybe has a sound, but there is less hum. If I compare this guitar, okay, I put the bridge pickup on, so this kind of weird modification is not in place. I put the dummy call to 0 and just open the guitar. Okay, let me show you. That's the hum of this guitar. And now I'll have the 61. And maybe it is less hum. We will find out. So everything on full, and or maybe not. Anyway, I've done things that are not mint condition because sometimes I believe in it might be better, and sometimes it has to prove that it is better. And now I came accustomed to what I have done decades ago, and it's good enough for me that I'm not missing anything, or that I want to improve anything. It's kind of, it works. And yeah, and that's thereby becoming, or is, my reference. So this is where it all comes from. Yeah, the clarity of that guitar is pretty good. Now the clarity of that guitar. Still not the same. Yeah, let me get a 500k port, and then we are talking again in the next episode. I will continue for the next 100 episodes, and then one day I will have nailed it. Okay, I see a few more comments here, which is kind of interesting. Yeah, there's the condensator am Tonpotti, which means the cap at the tone pot. That has a lot of influence again, even though if the whole thing is all the way up, which, you know, we can hear now, we had the pot all the way up, and it really makes a difference. So that capacitor, which is connected to the tone pot, even with 250k, changes the sound, because I put just a series resistor to like 300 or whatever, 350k, or maybe even 500 if I put it all the way up, and it changes that's character and important, at least for me. See? All those little nuances add up. And yeah, let's see. I will change the pot for next episode, and then we can witness from episode to episode where we are going, if we get any closer. What's going on here? Pot end cap changes. What the first I tried was my first guitar. I didn't have against microphonic. Okay, that's a different issue. I'm not talking about it. This is a total big topic. La 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 la. Still have my Farmers. What value do you use for the master pot? 250k, and same effect is when the value is too small. As we could see in the last episode, the value indicated 250 doesn't mean it's 250. It's 190 or 290 or 300k, because the tolerance are so big. And the point is, I don't like them too small. If they are like 200k only, the guitar gets warm, and for my taste, too warm. But hey, that's a taste thing. If your guitar is too spanky all the way through, it has something to do with the pickups. You can change the pickups, but you can simply try a smaller pot, costs nothing, or 10 euros or dollars, and that will also do something to it. Or try to have a resistor added to it to bring down the value a touch. So all that little things can be done. Okay, Givi Morola, talking about the dummy coil, I will test the RFID coil as dummy coil. Is much cheaper than a cheap single coil and much smaller and easier to insert under the crutch plate. Yeah, you have seen in the last episode that in my original Strat there is a cheap single coil, even having the magnets in there. I forgot about it, but the photo tells the truth. It's a mess underneath the pickguard. But why should I change it? It worked all the years and it sounds killer. So now with these, I'm getting close to it. I can only tell you that back in the days, I was trying different coils, and the way to do it is simply to experiment with it. It's like, try one, try another one, and see what you like better. It's I found out that most of my spare guitars ended up to have half a humbucker because they are like only 4K and they do the job of the dummy coil, but not. They create a different resonance of the pickup system. That's all cool. Andreas S., since you changed your neck pickup tone with the bottom tone, okay, that's a personal thing. Back years ago, for some reason, I kind of wired them like in the wrong way. Usually the neck pickup on the Strat is here and the middle pickup is there. But for some reason, I don't even remember if I did it on intention or if I just put them on the wrong connections. But I like to have that neck pickup tone. Where's my cable? The neck pickup tone on this here, because that gives me a it's like here's volume and there's tone, and the middle pickup tone has also a different capacitor value. I have 0.1 microfarad on the neck to make this darker, to have this more jazzy. And then for the middle, I have a more that kind of nasally. But that's my taste. So I kind of changed the position of the tone controls on my guitar. And by the way, this is the same with all my signature guitars now, because otherwise I get confused. I found it more practical for whatever reason. Maybe I just got used to it. Soldering from hell. Well, not anymore. I switched it off. It's cold now. Okay, guys. I think that was the experiment I wanted to do today. There will be the update for more next week. Just while I'm in front of it, this thing here is a very nice thing. When you have the traditional whammy bar, and the metal of the arm touching the metal of the block issue, and that kind of cluck 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 thing goes away once you use this. What is it called here? Let me see, what is it called? Teflon tape. This is the stuff that you buy when you go in for piping, you know, water pipes and stuff. If you have a water pipe joint, that's that tape here. And what I'll do is like, this scissors is terrible. Let's here cut something here, and then I wrap this around the thread, and this makes a nice isolation so that the metal of the arm is not touching the metal of the block. So, and of course, by the amount of Teflon tape, you can decide how stiff the whole thing gets. This was pretty tight here, but that's the way to do it. And in that case, you don't even need a screw anymore. Okay? Looks a bit shitty, but works. So, no? And here, there is no, the arm is just like, okay, you can do this a couple of times, and then it's not loose, it's not too tight, and the biggest benefit is when you listen to the clack, 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 which you usually get from metal to metal, is gone. And that's important when you go for Jeff Beck style things. Nicole. Okay. Shit, cable. Okay, guys. Have you ever tried the Seymour Duncan Yngwie Malmsteen pickups? I played them once in a different guitar. I should try them out in my guitar. I know they are hum cancelling, or they have kind of two coils in one pickup, which is great. I'm so addicted to my vintage sound pickups that I honestly, there are some great pickups out there. I wanted to finish a guitar with these DiMarzios. Maybe these are the ones. DP1, wait a minute, DP110 BKU, is that the one? Or is this... Can you, where's the camera? This is the camera. I'm talking about these. Anyway, it's on my wish list if I have a bit more time, but unfortunately it's not vacation time. You have more time than I do. You can do all these experiments, but I have to do this for myself as well. From my experience in the past, anything that is not 100% vintage was not making me happy. But hey, that's just me. My hero Jeff Beck plays, you know, what was the Fender pickup, noiseless lace sensor pickups. No good for me, but hey, Gilmore plays EMGs and Jeff Beck plays lace sensors, and you know, it's all okay. But I'm just addicted to my vintage sound. Yeah, I have to bring Marcus Deml to the Academy of Tone. Yes, I spoke with Marcus, and probably by later this year, maybe end of this year, he will come and join me here. But for now, I wanted to share the video that we've done at the #1 vintage room with all the great guitars. Yeah, check out our interview. Stay tuned. See you guys next week, and have fun modifying your guitar electronics. Keep me posted on your results. Okay, and now it's time for the interview with Marcus and his albums and yeah, his story, which is kind of interesting because we go back many, many years. Enjoy. See you guys. Cheers. Welcome to the world of vintage guitars. It's a real big pleasure and honor to talk to my dear friend Marcus Deml. Hey.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so we go back a long way. I think we first met in LA.
In 1919, Thomas was playing at the LA guitar show at some kind of hotel, and I used to live in Hollywood. And I came there to see Dan Huff, but I watched Thomas.
Yeah, and then of course we bumped into each other many, many times. One of our highlights was meeting at the Strat Kings Award.
Yeah, but we met before.
Of
You
course.
actually called me after the first Arrowhead record.
Yeah.
At midnight.
Yeah, I mean, you have one thing you have to understand. Marcus is doing incredible, great music, and I liked his style always because he was one of the innovative guys.
Thank you.
You know, getting new sounds, getting new arrangements, getting fresh ideas, and I can only highly recommend to check out his music, his albums. How many solo records do you have by now?
I think 13 or something.
Yeah.
So, but the Healing Hands, the current one is the first one under my name, but the Arrowhead records were essentially solo records too, because I wrote everything.
Right.
Even the lyrics. There's only 2 albums where I co-wrote the lyrics, and I produced the albums, and I engineered most of it. But then after band politics, I decided, well,
to go really solo.
and in English, Marcus Deml is a cool name. It's not as goofy as it sounds in German. And actually, this is my best-selling album since 2008, because we didn't put it on Spotify, and so we sold a lot of copies, which is great, because I've been in the studio for 2 years now.
And that costs money.
Thanks to all the people who bought it, because I wouldn't, behave like I'm in Pink Floyd.
Yeah, and I can only say from my side that Marcus's productions in the studio always have been spot on.
Well, I'm like you. I was like, what do you do? What have you done the last week? I've checked out 6 different cabinets.
Yeah.
And I moved microphones
for bass.
Or for guitar, but with bass too. Or I recorded organ. Or last week, a few weeks ago, I reamped organs through Marshalls. And people think we are crazy, but we're not in it for the money. But that's just pure happiness to do something like that. But after 2 years, it's enough. I need a break.
Yeah, but going back to your albums, okay, you have to check Marcus Deml's albums, because it's refreshing to listen to that. And people who have no clue about what it is very tasty instrumental music most of the time, especially on this one.
This one, it's songs. But I'm really not
melodies
practicing that much, but I'm really, actually, my focus is on songwriting or composition, reharmonization, all that kind of things. That's what I've been really doing for the last 10 years, writing a melody and then see how I can put it in a song that makes sense, that I don't need to prove that I can play fast.
We all can play our things, but there's always a faster one next to you. And this is like, nobody will, that race is over. I think
it's over. Yeah. It's definitely over, and it's actually so many people. I talked to this 14-year-old kid who played like Stevie Ray Vaughan, and it was incredible. Garrett, and he said, my teacher is a shredder, but I'm not interested in that. I was like, that's different from our generation.
Yeah.
Because so now kids are, and he's like...
into tone, phrasing.
Tone, phrasing, where you put the note, a melody, an arrangement, a chord progression, all these things, which I always tell when I do clinics to people, just imagine for a second you wouldn't be a guitar player, you're just a musician, or a singer, a drummer, whatever, and, how would you judge your own music? Yeah. So it's really amazing to see that a lot of young people are not into shredding. I'm not against shredding. I'm a big Holdsworth fan, but
in the end, it's about the
music.
But
on Instagram, I don't go to Instagram. It's just like. It's almost. I think it's almost comedy these days.
Yeah, it's too much, and. My lesson I learned was with my first solo record. When I finished the record, I needed a title, and I used the title "The Beauty of Simplicity" because
which is a great record, by the way, too.
Yeah, because when I listened to my own record, I thought, actually the moments where I do less simple stuff is the best moments that I connect with my own music, and this was important to do such an album to make that experience. And based on that experience now, I found my style as you did.
I think guitar players are usually we're drawn to some kind of competition, and for me that competition was over by I don't know, when I was 25.
Yeah.
I said, okay, I just I don't care if somebody's playing great. I get inspired. If I don't like it, I walk away or I switch to something to something else. But I thank God never had the thing where if somebody's playing better, I don't get envious or anything.
No, it's
like
cool.
that.
We can now appreciate everything that is positive. And my shredding, I stopped shredding after I think Yngwie's first solo record or something. It's like when he was in Alcatraz or what was the band. I was still trying to get.
Me too. Yeah. I learned the whole first Yngwie record, note for note.
See?
Note. I probably still remember most of it.
Yeah, similar thing here, but at the end of this was my end of that shredding experience. Yeah. It's okay to have dived into this kind of tonal palette for once, but then stay there. This is Yngwie's job. That's not ours. I don't know. I don't think about these things anymore. For now, or maybe that's valuable to the viewers of this. I just do what's natural. Yeah, and the more you just are with yourself, the more comes from yourself. And if you have too much input, it's like so much noise. It hides. It kind of covers you.
Yeah.
So for me,
that's the reason why I don't watch YouTube videos. I don't I listen actually to albums, to vinyls or CDs on an old stereo system that used to cost like 10 grand or something, and I sit there with a cup of tea or a glass of wine and listen for 40 minutes to a record.
Yeah.
And I have the feeling. And it could be anything. Usually now it's not guitar albums because I hear my own playing the whole day, and then that it's tiring to put on some kind of rock guitar or Marshall record or something when you hear that for 8 hours. But I usually don't go to YouTube or Instagram. I do that only for business, to be quite honest.
Yeah.
I just I think it actually helps me to be happier.
Yeah. I mean, it's like if people eat too much food and everything, it's better if you know what's good for you and what not.
I think people turn neurotic from that.
Yeah.
Oh God, what is? Oh.
Yeah, it scares you, and it ends up in bad energy for yourself, and that's.
I think so too.
Cannot
and
be
that's there's psychological proof for that.
Right.
That it actually changes
your
brain and the way you feel about yourself. So, but those are two old white men talking about what you should not do, which is do whatever you please. But
talking about old white men, we are talking about white Strats because we still love to do and play our Strats. So what is your story with the Strat?
I wasn't a rock guitar player till I turned 16 or 17. I really tried to be that's me.
Yeah.
Being 14, 13 years old, and doing the
Gypsy style.
Charlie Christian, George Benson, a little bit of Wes Montgomery,
Yeah.
I had the wrong friends, and with 15, I started with the Mahavishnu Orchestra.
Oh yeah.
As you can see, I was totally up because I had a great friend, Tobias Rüger. We were the two nerds. I was the skinny, red-haired, freckled guy from Prague, and he was a little bit overweight guy, and so we didn't have any friends. And his dad had this record collection of only jazz albums, and so that was my. Besides straight blues, B.B. King, Muddy Waters, which we listened to when we were 13 years old.
Yeah.
Or Albert.
Yeah, the Kings. Yeah, the Dirty King.
The Dirty Kings. We used to do that, and so I always wanted to have a 335. I finally bought one on the day B.B. King died, I bought a 66 or 69. Gibson gave away the serial number twice. And I have two expertises. One says it's a 66 and one says it's a 69. It doesn't matter. It's an amazing guitar.
Yeah.
And I played occasionally, but the game changer for me when I was, as I said, 16, when Gary Moore played on a TV show in Germany.
I was flashed by the same show, Rock Palace, right?
No, it's Rock Pop in Concert.
Was it the one with the red Strat?
Red Strat, six Marshalls.
Unbelievable.
6 Marshalls.
Yeah. Wait until tomorrow.
Exactly.
I just played that recently in the Academy of Tone, my live stream.
Oh, yeah.
And it's,
that song actually, you know.
Yeah. That does it.
That song killed me in many ways. Plus, also he played this intro, this kind of Beckish.
With the keyboards.
With the Don Airy.
Yeah.
With the.
Yeah.
And I wanted to have a Strat and a Marshall.
Yeah,
and
me too.
I went to a guitar center in Frankfurt and stood there between the smoke with Peter Kura and said, how did he get the sound out of the Strat? Because before that I thought a Strat is...
Yeah, Hank Marvin and the Shadows. Or for the Germans, Ricky King.
Right. So that's what I thought, but it's interesting to see if you follow that up, that both Gary Moore and Jeff Beck were totally influenced by Hank Marvin and all the Wang bar stuff, etc. But from that point, I wanted to have a pre-CBS Strat. It was just essential. Of course, you have to understand, because we're so old, these guitars weren't in the stores. They were hard to find, and even the 3,000-4,000 Deutschmarks were. I mean, that was so much money.
Money back in those days. Yeah.
Unbelievable. So I got, I think, a Mighty Might body with a Charvel neck and one humbucker, because I could afford it. I wasn't happy with that, and it took. Then I had a Squier Strat, which I still have, but the Japanese vintage, but with a big headstock, which I modded to death. And then after that, the first really good Strat that I had was my black Strat, which I got.
You still have that one.
The black and the white Strat are the most recorded guitars, and I play them I had this for 18 years and black Strat for 34 years. So these are my go-to guitars always, and I do own
a lot more.
50 guitars probably. I have about 20 Strats. So these two guitars are the go-to guitars, and the reason is I walk away from these guitars all the time. Like, I recorded the whole album because I have a beautiful old vintage gold top from the 50s and the 335 and an old SG. I recorded the whole album with these guitars. And I re-recorded everything
with a Strat,
with both of these Strats. So I don't know what it is,
but it's always the same. Yeah.
I flipped channels. Here's the Les Paul take. Here's the Strat take, and it was like, this is the better sound. Yeah. This is
more expressive.
But this, dude, this has the vibe. This is you. Yeah. The engineers going, whoa. Whoa! It's a bit picky, but it's great.
Yeah.
It's it hurts a little bit. Sometimes it whispers. Sometimes it does everything. The dynamics. It's just a huge amplified guitar. This guitar is called Head Hole, and the reason is it's has 3 holes for a 9-string. So to explain that, the collectors call it the Indonesian models, because in Germany in the 60s and 70s there were Indonesian musicians mostly playing in Asian restaurants, and they were playing either that music or Birds kind of stuff, and Rickenbackers, and were more expensive. So what they did, they modded these guitars with octave strings. So therefore you find a lot of butchered pre-CBS Strats like that. I've seen about 10 of these already in my life. And to make things worse, It's a 69 pickguard. And I think that the pickups that came with it were 69 originals too. Now they're Kloppmann's, which I actually prefer. Sorry, vintage guys. And in the parts, you can see it here, it was refinished with Tippex, which is starting to slowly wear off. So they said this half, supposedly, but I don't care, is original. And the other half was refinished with Tippex. And so I bought this in 2006. A friend of mine called me up and said, I have a 63 here. And I saw it and I was so disappointed. And I took it home. And at that point, I already had 6 vintage reissues. I plugged in, played 2 notes, and it was over. I said, okay, I have to have it, and I'm gonna fix it up. It was fretless. The pickups were squealing. It had one of those anodized David Gilmour pickups, pick guards on it. But this was thankfully in the case. So this is not a collector's guitar. It's ugly. It doesn't stay in tune. It's But
it's got character.
I have another 63, which is a refin, but everything else is original. And this one always wins. This one, and it's if you everybody in the studio, whenever I play something, they go head hold, head hold, head hold. So only if I need a humbucker, I take Lee, which is the black reissue, which is actually even more important because it's the guitar I've learned to play on. And it was almost brand new. And if you know it, everybody goes, "Is it a heavy relic model?" No,
it's original.
It's all original. It's being 30, and it was my only guitar for 20-something years, and all my hundreds and hundreds of studio gigs. Everything is this guitar. Before I got this, and now they sort of
share the number one spot.
So the number one spot. So if the house would burn down, I would grab these 2 guitars. That's what I would do. And I don't know what it is, but it's hard to play. Also, it has a D neck, which is rare, and the D is the nut width. It's not the size, but the nut width, of course, is responsible for the size of the neck. So it's not a comfy neck, not at all. It's just
let me have it.
It's just it's sort of odd, and you have to get used to it.
But the guitar. The substance of the guitar gives you something back. And so the weird neck.
It's a weird neck. That's probably. It's just like everybody goes, "Oh, I cannot play this," and it took me 2 years. It took me 2 years before I felt comfortable with this guitar. And if I get nervous, I always grab the black guitar because it's so much easier to play. And this is just like, okay, I don't know, and the tuning is not good and.
But the characters, they're super.
But you can hear it acoustically that it's just it's got that thing,
and that's the thing about guitars. What's going on with your pedals? Hey, I have seen this one and this one. I think the elephant came first. Basically, I always use tube screamers, but as every tube screamer user, I was getting frustrated. I said, I hate the bass cut. I had this high mid scoop. It compresses too much. It could need some more gain. So that's why I did this. So you have to understand, since we are fools, we don't make things for money. But I did this for myself. And then my girlfriend, who does all my artwork, Sandra, from Henjes Markendesign, she's she has an advertising company, and she's a designer and a painter. She said, "I can't hear it. How you brag about your pedal? Why don't you market it?" So we did. Why not?
And she did the design for me. And first we didn't sell any of them, and then after a few videos where people saw me stepping on it, they started ordering these. So we're like around 400 of these. But the game changer was because of the flight gigs that I do and that you do, and you probably constructed the amp one also for that.
Of course.
What I usually do, I take a super small pedal board with just a delay and some kind of distortion, because that's what we need. And if the amp is decent, we can play a decent gig.
Yeah. So if you have a good overdrive pedal.
If you have a good, or in my case, I want a dynamic distortion pedal.
Yeah.
So what I do, I take any amp, a Fender Twin or a new Marshall, or hopefully a Plexi or a JCM 800 if they have that in Timbuktu or wherever. We have great amplifier for you.
Roland Jazz Chorus.
Oh, even with that, I had to play. No, it was just a rehearsal. You can come down to our rehearsal, and we have an amp. Okay, I didn't ask what it was. A Roland Jazz Chorus, and it worked. I had to switch the chorus off and the reverb and use this. So this is a high gain pedal. But it's a very musical pedal, so it's very mid-rangey, and it's designed to set up, your pristine, clean tone, and then you put that in front of the clean amp, and that has been, within a year we sold like 400 of these. So,
so it's kind of a little bit an amp in a box pedal.
Sort of, or it's like. I actually cannot compare it, because first of all, after frustrating experiences, I bought all the boutique pedals. And Wagner, Friedman, whatever, and I wasn't happy with any of them. Sorry, Reinhold, sorry, Dave Friedman, I just wasn't happy. So I went to my tech, and 2 years research and development. And the idea was just 3 knobs. So
as simple as can be.
As simple. I didn't want to mess around when you're on stage. I don't want to twist knobs. And I played it last night. Yeah, I'm going to play it now for the solo concert, and it doesn't matter what amp. I can still get
your tone.
My tone. Yeah. Exactly. So I'm very proud of that.
Absolutely, and you sounded great. And
thank you.
Yeah, I think the point is important, that you know what you want, that you have an understanding of your tone, and in the end, I know how picky you are, and I know you end up with your own solution, because it's sometimes not so likely to find exactly what you want, because over decades you evolve in your taste, and things like, if that's not right, it needs to be fine-tuned to
We're
your...
basically the same in that respect. Yeah. So I mean, you could say, why would you make an overdrive and a distortion pedal for the? There's so many on the market.
For the market.
And I said, I don't like any of them.
Yeah, no, and that's true. I do my designs also because I don't see that stuff that I'm building from anybody else.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's... because I missed that, I go all that way, and you did the same thing.
Exactly. But the good thing is, since I haven't been on tour for almost 4 years, I only play like 6 gigs a year. The record is doing great, the pedals are doing great, and I'm not 8 hours on the bus.
Yeah, which is shit.
With 4 alcoholics.
Are we seeing you live touring?
I don't know. It's. I don't have to. What I would like to play is more like the goal with the new album, or Healing Hands is like Montreux Jazz Festival, which I did a live record in '94 with Earth Nation, or Leverkusener Jazz Tage, or the Elbphilharmonie, or something like that, because that's the kind of music I'm playing now. I'm playing music for adults, which...
Konzertante Musik.
Right. It's
listening.
It's not, and I don't. What I don't want, what I did with the Blue Poets, is play some Gary Moore, play some Jimi Hendrix, which is all great.
Yeah.
I love all these guys. I did that in the past, but
no, you are a solo artist, and
I have my own identity. Even though people always compare me to like 10 different guitar players, which is funny. But I have a vision about my music, and I have a vision about where it's supposed to be played, and it's supposed to be played for people who can appreciate it.
Of course.
And it's the same reason I didn't put it away for free on the streaming platforms, because I want if you don't want to pay for my music, hey, then you don't
Fair
have
enough.
it.
Yeah, fair enough. You don't have.
And I have to say thank you to all the almost 15,000 people who bought the record, which is amazing, you know, because because of that I can do what I love, which is write.
Focusing on your thing. And
on my thing and nothing else. So
Yeah.
we're super fortunate bastards because we don't have to, you know, do things that we don't like, which nowadays is such
a drag. And we've been there. We've been the hired gun game, both of us.
And I remember, you know, coming from super high profile sessions, you know, you get paid as much as a dentist a day. And I've come back from the studio at 11 o'clock at night, and the only thing I said, where's the remote control, where's the beer?
Yeah.
You know, and that's just...
It's not fulfilling.
And I said, I heard you on the radio. I said, I don't give a...
Yeah.
You know, so, but anyway, so we're both living a happy life. We sort of have a similar path. Thomas is, of course, if you don't know, but you probably do, he's doing his amazing invention, the Amp X now, which sounded pretty good last night too, with all the, I said, where's your pedal board?
Well, it's all included.
It's all included, and he's always tweaking knobs, so we're sort of from the same family, and life's good.
Yeah. Hey, Marcus, this was a real big pleasure.
Oh, we have to play solo concerts now before.
Yeah.
All right.
Cheers,
Peace
guys.
out.
Cheers.